I posted this before, but I'll do it again. Keeping it short to cut out the BS. Be riding four-wheelers in the woods with cousin. Back on some logging roads, nothing around for dozens of miles. Stop for a break, faintly hear a stream through the woods. We decide to check it out. Hiking through the woods going down into a ravine. See an old Volkswagen Beetle decaying in the woods near the stream. Decide to check it out, see if there's anything still inside. Cousin goes on to the stream. Get to the car, but nothing inside but leaves and moss. Suddenly I hear a voice go, "Hey. Look up, nobody is around. Hey, look what we have." Get chills, eyes start tearing up. What the hell is going on? Another voice says something. Tactically piss my pants and run over to the stream where my cousin is. Cousin comes running up terrified, saying we need to go right now. Says there's people crouching in the bushes nearby. Tactically piss my pants again and we run up to where the four-wheelers are. Start them up and get the hell away from there. I thought it might have been my cousin having his friends pulling a prank on me, but it was so far in the woods, and we almost didn't go down to the stream anyways. It seems highly unlikely. Also, the terrified look on my cousin's face was very genuine looking. I can't forget about it. Happened back in high school. Friends and I throw a rager at abandoned cabin in middle of woods on town nature preserve. Creepy old place, bookshelves full of old books. Propane lamp, battery powered stereo, so once we get drunk cabin seems like coolest place ever. Me and friend are getting carried away, blasting all kinds of anti-religious edgy metal. Friend and I burn bunch of old Bibles off a shelf. People yell at us, we put it out. Bit later girl screams, says people outside watching us. No one there. Girl flips her shit and says me and friend summon demons by burning Bibles. Me and friend laugh hard. Stop when something outside in the woods screams. Like shrieking blood-curdling nightmare type stuff. Nope 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 nope. We all grab what we can carry and haul ass to cars. Week later other friend and I go back to cabin. Left his folding beer pong table, we were high school at the time. Inside of cabin is destroyed. Like a bear got in there or something. Smells awful. I can't even describe it. Smell is stronger going upstairs, so we don't. Beer pong table has weird shit burned onto the surface. Creepy burns, look like writing. Friend insists I did that during Bible burning. Assure him I didn't. He freaked out and decided to leave it. Another week or so later news talks about homeless people did some group suicide upstairs in the cabin. Some eerie stuff. I was stalked by something in the woods one night. Late summer. Friends invite me camping. Told them I wasn't coming because I had to work the next day. But, I know where they are going to be and I'm a dick. I figure a 4-mile hike is worth scaring the crap out of them. So at around 11 I put on my operating equipment, full camo, covered in scent killer. I later realized, face mask, and knife, no guns, no light. Lucky me, full moon bitches. And I know these woods like the back of my hands. First mile is open fields and nothing happens. It's only after I cross the fence that borders the woods, did shit get weird. Walking along the moonlit cattle path that runs through the woods, I'm making good time. Stick breaks. I need to watch my feet, or I'll blow it. Snap. Snap. Come the hell on, man. Watch your feet. That's when I glanced down. I was on bare dirt, no sticks before me or behind. Well, that's odd, musta spooked a deer or something. That's what made all the noise. As this thought runs through my mind, I sense something. And by that I mean I sense nothing. The woods are silent, as in deathly still. No wind. No insects. No frogs. Nothing. I begin to walk faster. I'm at about power walk speed. Snap. 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 I stop. Nothing. I start again. Snap. 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 It's keeping pace with me. Time for a jog. As I draw my knife, I just watched the gray and didn't want to go out like a bitch. Just when I pick up the pace, I hear a very loud crash very nearby. And I can swear I heard heavy breathing. That was when I started sprinting. I knew at the other end of the stretch of woods there was another field. As I haul ass down the cattle path, it sounds like the forest is exploding behind me. I reach a marshy bit of the woods about 1/2 deep with rainwater. The sound of my boots splashing through fills my ears. Behind me I hear more splashes. Is that an echo? I can't be sure, but I'm too scared to find out. I break out of the woods in a dead sprint. Fog has filled the area, the field is filled with grass up to my shoulders. But I'm still on the path, so it's not slowing me down. I realize it's quiet again, so I slow down and listen. It's so quiet. So quiet. From behind me explodes the sound of footsteps. Heavy footfalls moving fast as hell. Thump, 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 thump. It's upon me. I turn to face it. I can see the grass moving right at me. Then it stopped. I could just make out through the fog and moonlight the grass moving back towards the woods. I have no idea what it was, but it was fast and determined. It might have been a coyote, since all the scent killer could have wiped my scent, might have thought I was a deer, but it freaked the crap out of me. B17. Living in Scotland at the time. My mum, brother and I decide to go visit my dad, who was working in Thurso at the time, very north of Scotland. We arrive at this really old building, which had been turned into a hotel. Dad greets us and all that. We book into the room, and I say to my bro, who was 15 at the time, that we should go exploring in the nearby forest. We do the very next day. It is thick, dense fir trees, ground covered in pine needles. Pretty soon we come across spent shotgun shells. At first my bro is creeped out, but I tell him it will just be hunters shooting pheasants. This calms him, and he suddenly decides the shells are cool and starts collecting them, insisting we go deeper. Going even further in, the forest suddenly seems very quiet all of a sudden. We both suddenly feel cold. There isn't a sound apart from our own footsteps. It is only about 4 p.m., and the trees seem to close in around us. Eventually come across a small set of ancient stone bricks. These are really old, blackened with age and many covered with moss. Think that it is old Scott fort ruins and decide to dig around there for a while, picking up smaller stones and pretending they are holy relics. Still feel very cold, but my bro doesn't seem too upset by this and is still fascinated by the ruins. Brush away the pine needles near the base of one of the stones and find some sort of stone pendant. Isn't the usual pentagram crap, but is a small circular thing with a square hole through the center. The thing is no bigger than the size of the circle made by putting your index finger and thumb together. Loud as hell snap, like a twig being stood on. Spin around and my bro is staring into the forest. Hear him mutter that he could have sworn he saw a hooded figure. I say it could have been a farmer, but he insists that the cloak looked old. I am suddenly overcome with goosebumps and want out of that whole area. Tell bro we are leaving, unable to raise my voice above a murmur due to fear. The ruins were up a hill, so we start walking back down in the direction we came from. The urge to run is intensifying with each step, but I don't, trying to seem like a man in front of my bro. Something catches my eye in my peripherals. Turn to look, and see a figure in a brown hooded cloak disappear behind a tree. Starting to note pretty badly, convinced a ghost monk is gonna kill my bro and me in the Scottish Highlands. Every noise we make that isn't a footstep, such as brushing against a tree, makes my heart jump. We hear another twig snap behind and to the right of us and we can't handle it anymore, deciding to bolt it down the hill. Running as fast as we can, but not saying a word, we can start to see the trees thinning out. My bro whacks his arm off a tree, and cries out, slowing down. I have to stop with him but I refuse to turn around, too scared to. I realize all this time I had that little stone totem in my clenched fist. Hurl it back into the forest but towards the right, refusing to look behind myself. Hear a barking noise, only once. Similar to what a fox sounds like but somehow different. Air feels warmer, but I am still terrified. Sprint back out into open fields and leg it all the way back to the hotel. Burst into our room, my bro near tears. I'm too scared to say much more than something along the lines of a man tried to kill us. Dad tells us not to go that far again without an adult. We bloody well did that. Freaking Scotland, man. It is full of too spookiness. Still don't know whether that was some spiritual crazy in a cloak who was stalking us or some long-dead ancient Scot. Be 1 year ago. To the day 6 p.m., meet friends in church parking lot. All 4 of us are Eagle Scouts. Will, Evan and Brian. My name is Rob. Super excited. First in a desert trip. I'm no guns. I'm also no 4x4. All 4 of us are crammed into Will's Ford Explorer. Plus a weekend's worth of camping supplies. Reach spot at 11 p.m. It's a rock shelf that overlooks Giant Rock in California. I mention how it's kind of like The Hills Have Eyes. That movie scared the piss out of me for some reason. Will says that there are weird people out here. This is my nightmare.jpg. Pitch tent before it gets windy. Try to sleep. Can't. Stay up all night in sleeping bag with Evan's shotgun. Next day. After spending the early morning and mid-afternoon shooting, Will and I decide to go off-roading. His Explorer is hardly street-worthy. But we go anyway. Bring water and a .22. Having fun, on a trail. Car is stuck in sand. Damn it. 3 miles directly to camp over impassable terrain. Decide to start digging with butt of rifle. One digs, other looks out for help. Dig until 3:30. Dude, if somebody doesn't drive by soon, we'll be here all night. I agree. Lock up car. Start walking to the giant rock itself. It's 2 miles away directly. Bring rifle and water. Start walking. It's 110, no shade, no one in sight. Will mentions, this really is like The Hills Have Eyes. Tactical nope in my head. Chuckle and say, yeah, nervously. About a mile in now. Keep going. Pass an old rusted out Jeep. Seriously creeped out now. Start to think about the movie. What happened and why it did. Were those people looking for help? Start to look at everything for a tactical advantage over anyone or anything. There are so many large rocks, shadows, Joshua trees and rocks. Can possibly find a tactical advantage. At this point, I'm freaking out. Ask Will if we can take a break. He says sure. I keep running things through my mind. See a person off in the distance. Tell Will we need to go, now. He says not to worry about it. It's probably another camper, maybe they can help. Figure gets closer and closer. It looks humanoid, but walks like slow monkey. We need to go. Turn around, turn back. It's gone. All Will. He says I must not be drinking enough water. Let's radio Brigand and Evan to let them know where we are. Attempt radio contact. Nothing but static. And a faint I'm coming. Screech in the distance. Start to get really freaked out. Tell Will, we can't stay here. We continue towards the rock. See that figure again. Radio comes on, and a faint, I'm coming, is heard. Something runs in front of us. About 100 yards off. Humanoid shape. Can't tell what it is for sure. Another screech, but closer. Ask Will if he heard it. He says yes, it was nothing. Let's go. Will, that wasn't nothing. Figure again appears to be closer. Tell Will to turn around. He does. He sees whatever it was. Actually yells nope out loud. He takes off, full sprint. Towards the figure. He doesn't even have the .22. Screech is heard again, and the figure appears to be within 20 yards, but the radiating heat made it impossible to tell. I take off. Run past the figure. It tears my favorite maiden shirt right off of me. Keep running. Don't stop. Ran past the giant rock. Ran for probably another mile on adrenaline. See guy on quad. Wave him down. Try to tell him what happened. He has no idea what I'm talking about. Offers me a lift to Will. He calls his friend with a jeep to pull out the Explorer. Still freaking out. Fetal position. Can't handle it. Guy with jeep shows up. Drive right by where the figure was standing when I ran past it. It's gone. No trace. Get Will's car out. Thank them for helping us. Head back towards camp. Ask Will to pull over. Right by where the thing took my shirt. It's gone. No shirt. No tracks. Nothing. We finally get back to camp. Brian says we look pale. Will and I just nod. We have no idea what just happened. Evan says we should eat something that might help. Agree. After eating, take spotting scope out. Set up on self to overlook dry lake bed. Nothing important happening. A few fires in the distance, dust trails from other off-roaders. But about 4 miles out, see a figure. It's moving slowly. Not towards us though. Away. Don't even bring it up. Day number 2. Could not sleep at all. Stayed up, shotgun in sleeping bag. Very windy overnight. Knocked most of our stuff down. Notice footprints around camp. Freaked out. Keep shotgun drawn while checking camp. Evan and Brian think I'm insane. Look around our fire pit. It's warm. We're missing some wood. I look into it. Scraps of my maiden shirt and what I assume were animal bones are in the pit. Nope. Tell Evan and Brian to look in it. They ask why I burned my favorite shirt. I didn't. Evan says it's time to go, now. Pack everything up. Drive away with guns out the windows. Will and I are having a breakdown. He can barely drive. Brian takes the wheel. Traveling down the climb. Notice 2 crosses on the side of the trail. They weren't there yesterday. See humanoid leaning on a Joshua tree. Brian steps on it. Creature comes out from the tree. Into middle of trail, behind us. It just stands there. And one final screech. I don't know what it was, what I saw or what. I'm too scared to talk about it with Will, because I don't like to talk about it, and neither does he. I suppressed it immediately afterwards and it never came up until I got a reminder on my phone for the trip. I set it up to do yearly reminders, I guess. This kept me up at night for 3 weeks. I no longer wear any of my maiden shirts, and I refuse to go out there ever again. I'm scared, Keque. I never want to remember this and maybe talking about it will help, but I think I'll be sleepless for a few more weeks. I have a short one that is relevant to a lot of the stories which are going around. Be Butterbar platoon leader for a cavalry platoon. Be at National Training Center at Fort Benning. Be in a woods for fire training exercise. The exercise is about 4 days long and involves a lot of land nav stuff, patrol bases, etc. So far has been pretty boring. At about 1800 on 3rd day get a call from the company commander over the radio. He's pulling the platoon leaders in to talk to us. Show up at Company Tactical Operations Center, basically commanding officer's truck, a camp stove, and pallets of MREs. Wait forever for company commander to show up. Finally shows up at 8:45 and tells me and the rest of the platoon leaders that there's been reports of a really big, aggressive bear that's been following groups around at the NTC. If it shows up, fire shots to scare it off, don't bury your trash, etc. I don't think much of it at the time, just think we got all our time wasted for no reason. Sends us off to head back to our PLTs on our own. Cloudy, so it's pretty much pitch dark out, kind of creepy navigating back by myself, but I'm in full warrior mode so I do it without thinking. Opposing force patrolling, so I leave my flashlight off. Following trail back to rendezvous point with my platoon where they were supposed to have set up a patrol base. See headlights off in the distance on the trail, get off the trail and hide. Watch the Humvee pass by, looks just like range control or something. See its lights fall on something huge across the road for an instant before the Humvee rolls on. Tactically piss pants for a second, sit in utter silence for a few minutes thinking it might be a bear. Nothing, no movement. After a while I realize I'm probably just being a tard and get back on the trail to keep going. Nothing more out of the ordinary happens, get to around the point where the patrol base should be and notice a chain of chem lights heading off into the woods as well as a parked Humvee. Head into woods, following chem light chain. Get to the end of the chem light chain. Someone calls out the challenge. When you set up a patrol base, if you see someone you call out a challenge phrase and they answer back with the password, it means they're friendly. I don't remember what the password was, so I just say it's freaking Lieutenant Anon. Guy just goes whatever and lets me by. I get to the center of the patrol base and link up with my platoon sergeant. About an hour goes by, I feel weirdly tense, can't sleep. Suddenly shouting from one side of the patrol base, immediately followed by a hail of blank fire as whole squad lights up an area. Grab my rifle and run over shouting for a status from the squad leader. No response yet. No one moving or talking. Run up to one of the sentries and ask what the hell happened. He said he saw someone moving about 10 meters away from their position and called out the challenge. He said they heard someone say it's freaking Lieutenant Anon, so they were going to let him through. Guy says the thing suddenly got close and he had this feeling something was wrong. Sees that this person walking into the base has long hair and just starts shooting. Whole squad started shooting. If you've ever shot blanks at night, you know it blinds you for a few seconds during and afterward. When the guy can see again, the guy he saw was gone. WTF for a bit, but say okay and head back to the center of the patrol base. Much later. Talk to the platoon sergeant and RTO, make sure they're okay, and go to sleep for a bit. Woken up by another hail of blank fire. Figure this time we're getting probed by opposing force, grab rifle and run to the side of the PB where the fire came from. I get there, almost no one moving or talking, ask WTF is going on. Team leader says he saw someone a little bit down the hill, they were watching, so he issued challenge. Guy calls back, it's freaking Lieutenant Anon, while he's walking toward the PB. Team leader asks what the hell I'm doing out there. Voice calls back, it's freaking Lieutenant Anon. Team leader WTFs. Team leader says something way taller than a normal man comes out of the brush. He tactically shits his pants and just starts lighting it up. Again, guy is gone when he can see clearly again where it was. Think this is kinda messed up for opposing force to be playing head games with us like this. I go back to the center of the PB and try to get to sleep again. This time I sleep for maybe 15 minutes before I'm woken up by for real opposing forces, big gun battle going on. Jump to my feet, actually happy shit's hitting the fan for real. Conductor react to contact, drive opposing force off, lane walker starts popping artillery sims. Squad leaders, platoon sergeant and radio telephone operators start executing according to our plan we set up to move PBs. We move about a click and set up the ORP, then move into the new PB. Walking around checking positions and making sure squad leaders are accounting for people. Good accountability with 3 squad leaders, go to talk to the last one. Last squad leader comes up to me just shitting bricks. I ask if he's missing anyone or any gear. He says he counted twice and each time counted an extra person. When he went back to ask if the guy was in the wrong squad, he wasn't there anymore. What? Pull squad leaders in, ask them if they were missing anyone or had anyone extra. Nothing wrong with anyone else. Figure it's just a screw-up with accountability. After an hour it's okay to return to normal sleep rotations. Make plans with platoon sergeant/squad leaders. I go to sleep. Woken up about an hour later by squad leader who's SOG for the time period. He tells me I need to come talk to some guy who's freaking out. Go over to where the platoon sergeant is, he's with some Joe who's freaking out. Ask him what the hell happened. Said he was on the line with team leader who I'd talked to before. Got up to go out a bit to take a piss. Mid-piss he looks over to his left down a short hill. Sees someone walking down there. Mumbles to himself, "Oh shit." Person down there freaking cackles, and he nearly pisses all over himself grabbing his rifle. He says it looked like it was made of sticks, and ran like a speed skater toward him. Cackled something like Lieutenant Anon, while it ran up the hill. My freaking face when. Guy runs for his life back to the PB and will not go back out on the line. He demands we bring the whole platoon back to the TOC. We eventually talk him down, things quiet down. Last incident of the night thankfully. I talked to the lane walker about it while no one else was around and he just said he believed the dude and that a lot of weird things lives in the Georgia swamps. I guess it's kind of a crappy ending, but to this day I am not sure what the hell might have happened. These stories reminded me of it. At the time I thought it was just hallucinations plus opposing forces, but now I'm not so sure.